On behalf of everybody in the region and all of Presence Health, Claire, congratulations on being chosen as the Servant Leader of the Year at Presence St. Mary's Hospital. The mission and values of Presence St. Mary's Hospital are through you in everything that you do. Your integrity, your dedication, your unwavering commitment to Presence St. Mary's are gifts to us. Claire, thank you for the love that you put into Presence St. Mary's Hospital, and congratulations.
Claire McElroy grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, the daughter of Irish-Italian parents, Edward and Clara. She has one older brother, Edward. As kids, Edward jokingly described Claire as a terrible pain in the neck, especially when it came to his paper route. Being the older brother, Edward had no problem letting Claire know that he was the boss and she was his assistant. The boss and his assistant delivered the papers and collected payment. Without fail, Edward would deliver and collect from 5 houses in the time it took Claire to collect from 1. Why was his assistant so slow? Because she would stop to play with kids or chat with the lonely at every house. Every Sunday morning, when the papers were the heaviest, Edward told Claire that she could work for him again, until Friday. Claire attended St. Anthony Grade School, where she was taught by the Sisters of the Congregation of Notre Dame. Claire went on to St. Mary's Academy of Visitation High School, where her nickname was Coochie. She was president of the student council and a member of the choral club. Professionally, Claire assumed that she would be either a teacher or a nurse, the 2 basic career choices for women at the time. But that path changed in 1963 when, after many prayers, she decided to join the Congregation of Notre Dame. Late that summer, Claire boarded a plane, her first time flying, and headed to maternity BVM in Bourbonnais, where the Congregation of Notre Dame had its United States Province novitiate. Here, she studied for 6 months as a postulant before relocating to Ridgefield, Connecticut to complete her novitiate. Sister Claire took her first vows in 1965, her final vows in 1971. She went on to teach grammar school in Connecticut and New York. I absolutely loved everything I was doing, she recalls. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. In 1976, Sister Claire was reassigned to teach 5th grade at Maternity BVM Grade School in Bourbonnais.
I had the great pleasure of having Claire McElroy as my 5th grade teacher. Her passion for teaching, you could see it every day in the way that she instructed and made all the lessons so much fun for us. Once I became a teacher, it was very important to me it was very inspirational to me also to be like Claire and make that great rapport beyond the classroom instruction.
Carrie and I both met Claire as the principal of our grade school, Maternity BVM. Claire would meet and greet all the students in the morning, and we can remember one of our first memories of Claire was her smile that we'd happen to see every morning.
And while I've always known Claire, I really got to know her and become a friend of hers when we worked together at Kankakee Community College. I mean, Claire really brought that same warmth to my professional life that she did to our time here in grade school.
You know, whenever we see her, she always knows who we are, asks how the family is, or like that. It's always such a joy every time we do happen to run into her.
3 years later, Sister Claire became maternity's principal, a position she held until 1985, when, once again, she faced a life-altering decision, whether to remain in religious life. It was not an easy time for me, Claire said, but after several long months of prayer and contemplation, I realized that God was calling me to do something else.
When we moved to town, Claire was the teacher of my children at Maternity BVM School. And we got to be good friends. We would always have the nuns and the priests over for dinner, so they became part of the family. Well, 18 months into our move here, my husband became ill, and Claire at that point was my savior because she helped me a lot. She was there when I needed her and through my husband's illness. When she decided to make a change in her life and leave the religious life, she wanted to set out on her own rather than go back to the East Coast. And I had said to her, well, if you want to come and stay with our family, feel free to do so until you decide what you want to do. Well, that was 27 years ago, and the rest is history. So.
And I used to call her Sister Bunny Rabbit. And when she was principal at maternity, and I was not in school yet, she would be at one end of the hallway, and I would be at the other, and I'd yell Sister Bunny Rabbit and then run to her and go into her arms. And I've always felt so comfortable with her. And so many good times traveling. We'd go in a motorhome, and so we'd stop and camp, and we'd always find something neat to see and something off the beaten path. And she was just an adventurer like my mom is, and so it was a great vacations every summer. She loves her sports teams, as my mom said, her Boston Red Sox and her Bears. She hasn't gotten rid of her accent. And it's kind of a joke with our family that we tease her a little bit, that she asks for something and we say, what? And she's like, I want an orange. A what?
Orange.
Orange. And it's just, we love that about her. We love that she has been here for so long, but she still keeps Rhode Island in her, and her family there is still so important to her. And she's blessed that she has, wonderful families surrounding her here and in Rhode Island, and they've become part of our family, and we're just, it's nice to have relatives out there now. And
my children often say that they don't know how the two of us even get along in the same house, but we do, and she has been a godsend in my life. I said, the Lord knew that I could not raise 6 kids alone, and Claire was there when I needed her.
And she came to KCC to work in student services. And I was part of the team. Back then we used to do team interviews. I was part of the interview team, and we just kind of hit it off. It's easy to hit it off with Claire. It's easy to develop a bond with her because she's such a neat lady. She cares deeply about everything she does, and she just throws herself into things and does them amazingly well, and gives so much of herself to all of the things that she lends her talents.
And the retirement didn't stop this energetic lady, right? So she's off running again, and she got involved in a lot of community services. She becomes part of the Hispanic Partnership group. She has become part of the Catholic Charities. She became part of the Working Women's Council, as she was part of the Illinois Adult and Continuing Educators Association. Now she is part of the State University Retirement Associates. You picked an excellent candidate to receive this award, because she is definitely fits every criteria that we ever have to have a servant, first of all, and then a leader who is a servant, secondly.
Volunteer Services has had the privilege of working with you since March 25th, 2008. Let me tell you, things have not been the same since. Claire, you have added so much life, friendship, and joy to our program. Since 2008, you have shared over 1,060 hours as a volunteer patient advocate. We look forward to every Thursday morning to see the sparkle in your eye and your mischievous grin, always wondering what you are thinking and what stories you have to share. Claire, you are a true advocate to St. Mary's, treating every patient, visitor, and family as a special guest in our hospital, always caring and encouraging everyone you meet. Your positive, no problem, can-do attitude is contagious.
In 2000, Claire's servant leadership shone again when she became a trustee on the hospital's foundation board. Over the ensuing 13 years, she advanced in positions, serving her last terms as chair before retiring to join the hospital's board of directors.
And I really can't remember a time when I didn't know Claire McElroy. She has been integrated into my life through the maternity BVM parish, our parish, her work here at St. Mary's. She's a volunteer, patient advocate, very active with the auxiliary. She's on our foundation board, moved up to the foundation board chair, and then moved to our hospital board, and through it all she's been deeply engaged, because for us it's faith, family, and St. Mary's.
In 2011, I was honored to be nominated as the vice chair of the foundation, an honor that I graciously accepted, in part because I really wanted a chance to work alongside of Claire, as she was the chairman of the foundation. And I really enjoyed working with Claire. I learned a great deal from her, and I really think today that I am a better chair of the foundation and really a better person because of Claire. I can honestly say that I wouldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for Claire McElroy.
Moving into the chair of the foundation trustees, Claire was on tap at the time of the great economic turndown, and it was she who encouraged the board to continue our work for St. Mary's, assuring us that we were doing God's work and He would help us, and He has. I recall hearing her share one story about her work about her time at Kankakee Community College. She told a group of friends about running up and down the halls in her suit and high heels in pursuit of an intruder who had slipped in her office and stolen her purse. She chased him up and down the halls, up and down the stairway, and she got her purse back.
Claire's mantra is believe. And through that, she makes you believe in yourself. She makes you believe that you can do it. You can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. And that, in my book, is a true leader. And after talking with Claire, we decided that we would bring Weight Watchers to St. Mary's because our goal is to get a healthy St. Mary's staff. She's very dynamic, and she asks, really engages the group to tell their stories, to share their stories. She injects humor. Weigh-ins can be very comical at Weight Watchers because you take off everything you can take off.
And then one day I had kind of an erratic schedule, and she came and spoke to me, and she said, "Take a ride with me. Let's go up to Mantino. I want you to visit Brandon House. I think you would like to work in adult ed." Changed my life. And I wouldn't have the job I have today, this August, 25 years with KCC, if it hadn't been for Claire. After she retired, she was going to the Bahamas to her brother's condo, and she said, "Would you like to come with us for a week?" And I thought, well, that's a long time. I don't know Claire and Jean that well, but I'm going. I said yes right away. That was the Bahama Mamas, and we all clicked, and we've had many trips since then, since 2 trips to the Bahamas, Branson, several gambling trips, Mall of America. And so she went from, being my supervisor to my friend, and now she's my sister.
Every day, Claire wears 2 rings. One is engraved with the word believe, the other with the words love life. They capture perfectly the essence of who she is as a servant leader. I believe in living my life to its fullest and doing the best that I can along the way. That is God's will for me and my life. Well, by now you're probably thinking that you know everything there is to know about our Servant Leader of the Year. Think again. Just as there are 2 sides to every story, there are 2 sides to Claire McElroy. Here are the top 10 things we didn't know about Claire McElroy.
Only Weight Watchers know that Claire has a passion for black jelly beans. She's told us many times that she'll have to sidetrack the black jelly beans because if she had a sitting, could eat a whole bag of them.
And she's a Boston Red Sox fan. Go Cubs.
In high school, Claire played center for the St. Mary's basketball team. I don't know, Claire, I heard that the Bulls had a tough decision between you and Scottie Pippen.
She took sewing lessons, as did I. In fact, I even made it to the state fair. The difference is, I obviously finished mine, and Claire never did.
She really prefers to have a car that's of a different shape. So currently, I'm in pursuit of a bumper sticker that reads, "My other car is a circle."
That Claire used to play the bongo drums as part of a folk group at Maternity BVM Church.
In high school, Claire was a pitcher and catcher on her softball team.
I remember on St. Patrick's Day, she brought down another teacher, Sister Kleina, and they did the Irish jig for the class.
Has to put something up for every holiday. If you'll notice around the house, we have little eggs hanging on everything. And I came down one day with eggs hanging on my ears, I said.
She loves to gamble. She likes her gambling.